Okay, just to recap on these three arrows, they're Bloodsport, Hunter, uh, Extremes, 350 spine, 300 grain Vantage Point Archery VPAs, field points, and this is two because I'm going to be using the 300 grain broadheads for the deer hunting that I'm going to be doing. Or I might be using the, I'll show them to you, they're on the Black Maxes, they're mechanicals. I have three of those already set up, so I might go with that instead of the 300 grains. But I'm going to take the 300 grains with me in case you run into something other than deer, which is very possible here. We do have a lot of coyotes. We do have a lot of wild dog packs in the area which I'm going to be hunting. And we also have cat, bobcat, and there is a puma out in that area. So that being said, with the Slavic draw, I'll be using that primarily or thumb draw. And it really doesn't matter. On a 45, you can do thumb draw if you want to, but I'm going to do Slavic draw for this exercise. So I don't really care for the fletchings on these. They're so flimsy. And I've already had to glue a couple of them down because the glue didn't really hold on them, so I had to re-glue them. And this is one of the ones I had to re-glue. I could tell because it's not perfect, but I mean, it's on there. Anyway, with 32-inch arrows, 28-inch draw is great. You're going to have 4 inches overhang or more. It just all depends. And you want to get to know how your bow works and snaps when you release the string. So it just makes a lot more sense that way. This is a long bow recurve. It's lightweight, weighs like a pound. It's actually listed as just under a pound, but you can't get these anymore. There's no listing for this specific one. They say, well, on Amazon, they say, well, try this one because this one's out of stock. And I've got wax built up all the way through here. I took some goof off because I'll wrap the string around the limb and took the wax off of here. What I might do is dress this up with some camouflage tape over the outside of the limb, which will not hinder the action of the bow. You'll note that it's 45 pounds at 28 inches. Right there, you probably can't read that, but it's there. I'll take a picture over here and add it to the end. But the nocking point is where I want it, and I slide up into it. I did have it to where I was sliding down, but I was doing something different with the type of archery. Now I'm, sliding up. So, I mean, you can do both, or one or the other. I mean, it just depends upon, because on my other bows, I slide up. This is the only one I had going down. On the Black Hunter combat archery rig I have, we'll be doing something a little different with that. We'll put some finger protectors on it. So, because that's a 60-pound bow, and you can feel the string burn on this a little bit. It's not too uncomfortable, but I'm not going to be shooting 20 arrows at one time in an exhibition. I'm just using the 3 arrows for this exercise. I hope that I only need 1 arrow, but if I need to lose 2 more to bring whatever down, then I can do that because I'll have them ready. So it goes without saying, get to know your bow, do your short range. Don't go back to 20 yards and start shooting a bow. That you're going to be very frustrated with the results. Get close and then work your way back. I mean, I can go all the way back to 12 yards, 14 yards. In this stretch right here, I just have to move a few things around in that other room and shoot through the doorway, which I'm very confident that I can do that. So that being said, just work on the short range, 10 feet, 12 feet, 5 yards, which is 15 feet, 7 yards, 20, 21 feet. I'm exactly 20 feet and 9 inches to where I'm shooting at. So, but 7 yards, just round up, no big deal. It don't have to be super accurate unless you're shooting competition. And then you have your boundaries and lines and everything you have to use. So, that being said, get to know your bow. Start slow, start close, work your way back. You'll be fine. And then remember where you have to perform your shot, your impact on what you're shooting, and know that in certain instances it will be uh, not a quick takedown, so you have to walk a little bit until you find the creature that you just shot. So that being said, again, I'm going to show you these arrows real quick, and we'll go from there. Okay, so these are the field points I have. You get 6 of those in a pack, and they're fairly cheap. They're about $12, $13, $14. I'll put the link in the description on this. And then, of course, these spaces right here, that absorbs the blood. So if you hit it in the liver, you're going to know it's because it's going to be darker. The lungs will be a little lighter. Heart will be dark red. And then you got, if it's less than that, you know you didn't hit any super vitals. And it tells you how much time you have to figure out when the animal expires and just drops. So the better the shot, the better the chance of being a quick takedown. These are the broadheads. I might use these. I'm not sure yet. 300 grain, that's pretty heavy. And these are tooled steel, so they don't break super easy. Unless, of course, you're trying to shoot through concrete, and that won't happen. That's not my objective. And these are, I got one that says test on it. That's one I normally use when I do something. And, of course, Hunter Extremes by Bloodsport Archery. And I really don't care for the fletchings. They're really super flimsy. On these, they are, because I shoot those a lot more. But on the broadheads, they're okay. They're still pretty firm. I haven't used these too much, except for, of course, the test. And you can see it says test on it. And I have a little bit of marking on the fletchings, that one there. And that's just, wear and tear. So that's the VPA broadheads and field points I use. Okay, so on these Black Maxes I have from Easton, I have these 3 mechanicals, which I'll probably use these in all honesty. I like this better as far as they're lighter weight. I might get a little bit faster velocity than the 300 grain VPAs, but it just remains to be seen. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. And it also depends upon the temperature, barometric pressure, so on and so forth, and everything that affects the shot at a longer range. Because I know I'm not going to get super close. If I do get super close, then I'll be able to lose 3 arrows in them pretty quickly. Otherwise, I'm just using one on probably a 60 pound. I probably won't use this bow, but I'll probably take that or the other 60-pound Turkish horse bow that I have for backup, just in case something goes wrong with the Black Hunter. It just all depends. This one's got a lot of pop on it, so it's super firm and it does really well. It's too bad that they don't have any more of those in stock. Hopefully they will have some in stock, because that's a really good bow for the money. I think I paid $120 for it, and it came with arrows and all the trimmings. So yeah, but as far as getting your equipment, getting to know your bow, how it works, like I said, start off short range and work your way. Here's another and work your way to your perfection. Here's another arrow that's Bloodsport, but I put this broadhead on it. And this is one I shot at the armor, the Roman armor with. And I didn't really think that was a good video, because there was no real serious penetration at all for 18 gauge steel. I just don't have a heavy enough bow. If I had a heavier bow, like an 80 pound or 110 pound bow, it probably would have done a lot more awesome work. But I shot this at the armor. I lost the 2 blades that go on that side. These are more expensive Schwackers. I want to say I paid $30 for this, maybe 35 for 3. On the these right here, I think I paid 20, 23, something to that effect. I can't remember the price on these. I have to double check that. But these for 3 of them, $80. But the field points are, I want to say I paid 14 for 6. So that was good. But I knew I was going to get some actually more expensive broadheads to, make a really good video. And these did not penetrate very far into the armor because they didn't have enough force behind them. I was using a 60-pound bow and it just was not cutting through. So, yeah, I mean, that's the type of thing you can expect when you're working with, just regular hunting. The war bows, the heavier bows, that would probably work better. But for all intents and purposes, I mean, I don't have one of those yet, but I do plan on getting one or more than one before the probably by springtime. I'll look into it then. But I'm gonna do a couple of things with crossbows, see how well that works out. Do a couple of zombie shoots and go from there. Now these mutinies by Carbon Express, I have those small broadheads on there. And I probably will use these for if I run into coyotes. I'll definitely probably take these, put them in a quiver, special quiver, and use those because I don't anticipate any issues, but there's always the possibility of that type of situation happening. We do have wild dogs out there too, like I mentioned before. Packs of them run without any, like it's a free world to them, and they do cause a lot of havoc. So, but it's the cat you'd be more worried about, a bobcat or that puma that's out there, mountain lion. But you don't know what you're going to run into, so you just got to have a backup plan. I'll be too close to other people's properties to use a firearm. It is a small community out there, farming community, but I'll be on a big stretch of land. But you don't want to use a firearm out there or any type of muzzleloader. Maybe muzzleloader, but I doubt it. I do have one, but I don't want to drag that out there with all this archery stuff as well. That'd be lumbersome, and then trying to carry a deer back. So, and I will get one. There's so many of them out there. You can literally throw a rock and hit one if you can throw a rock pretty far. So anyway, yeah, y'all stay tuned and subscribe, and we'll be back with more.